Hello and welcome. Continuing with the series on modern Indian history, in today's lesson, we look at the second part of tribal revolts. In the previous lesson on this, we had covered the chronology of certain tribal revolts, and in this one, we'll mainly be focusing on two very important tribal revolts, one being the Santhal rebellion, and the second one being the Munda revolt. Alright, so let's get started. The Santhal rebellion, what is very interesting is that Bipin Chandra, K.S. Singh and Ranajit Guha, they have maintained that during the rule of the East India Company, this was the most massive revolt that took place. The Santhals, they lived in the area between Bhagalpur and Rajmahal. This came to be known as Daman-e-Koh, and they were the ones who first used the term Diku for all outsiders. And if you remember, we had spoken about Dikus and how there was this permeating hatred for outsiders that had sprung up ever since colonial rule began to be established in India. And the hatred that these people fostered for the English and these outsiders or Dikus, it can be gauged from their desire for complete annihilation of alien people. Okay. Now, why were they obviously hating them so much? That's important to understand. So, as regards the social conditions that drove the Santhals to this extreme treatment of outsiders, this has been described in the Calcutta Review as follows. The Zamindars, police, the revenue officials and the courts have exercised a combined system of extortion, oppressive exactions, forcible dispossession from property, abuse and personal violence, and a variety of petty tyrannies that were let loose upon timid Santhals. So all these kinds of unfair means were being adopted, and usurious interests on loans of money was being charged. Counterfeit measures या जाली वजन करने वाली चीजें इस्तेमाल हो रही थी हाट पे, which was the weekly market. There was lifting of tribal cattle and appropriation of growing crops, which was going on, which meant that the Santhals had no option but to try to overthrow this oppressive regime, as it were. By 1854, the Santhal tribal heads, known as Maji and Parganites, they had started meeting and discussing the possibility of revolt, and their most important meeting was held on the 30th of June 1855 at Bhagnidhi. यहाँ पे दो मेन लीडर्स थे, सीदो एंड कान्हू मुर्मू. They claimed to be in communication with the Thakur, that is the tribal god. And now, when we read about the Munda revolt, please remember this fact that these two main leaders here, they are claiming to be in direct communication with this tribal god. In the main edict, now what these brothers did is that they employed the Mughal British administrative term Parwana, which authorized the revolt, and they made clear that so and so is the chain of command, which is why we're going ahead with this revolt. What did they say? And I quote, Thakur has ordered me, saying that the country is not the Sahibs. Kanu and Sidhu Manji are not fighting. The Thakur himself will fight. Therefore, you Sahibs and soldiers will fight the Thakur himself. This is the order of the Thakur. So this was cited in a book also by Guha, and this quotation comes from a document in the West Bengal State Archives if you want to know more. Interestingly, what this meant is that they were claiming to fight on behalf of the tribal god, which lent their movement that sort of credibility and brought more people into the fold, making them want to participate even further. The important aspect here is that even women participated, and this particular revolt was helped by a large number of non-tribals and poor. They were the Gwala, Lohar, Barhai, all accompanying the rebels, supplying them with food, fodder, drought animals, and of course traditional iron weapons. Now, when the colonial state realized the seriousness of the revolt, from the beginning itself, it launched an aggressive military campaign. Its regiments were mobilized and martial law was declared in the affected areas, and a reward of up to 10,000 rupees for the capture of the leaders was announced. The rebellion was crushed ruthlessly, and But you know, the heroism that was on display by these rebels, O'Malley, one of the people, has said that they showed the most reckless courage, never knowing when they were defeated, and they refused to surrender. नाउ दिस कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस पार्ट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि इस पे सवाल आते हैं. आप ये समझ लीजिए कि जब भी सिविल रिबेलियन या जो अर्ली अपराइजिंग्स या ट्राइबल रिवोल्ट्स की बात होती है, it is very very important for you to understand. See, the rebellion part is important. You need to know the leaders and you need to know कि क्यों हुआ. लेकिन उसके साइड में ये भी बहुत बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि आप जाने कि उसके बाद क्या हुआ. रिवोल्ट क्रश हो गई, that is not the end of it. There are certain consequences that ensue, and in the case of the British, you will see that they always used to assess the aftermath of any such revolt and then come up with measures to either deter such revolts in the future or to ensure that whatever policies they were carrying out in India, unme kam se kam disturbance aaye aage jaake. So it was sort of drawing lessons from each and every revolt that they came across. अब यहाँ पे consequences क्या हुए? By the Act 37 of 1855, दामनी को, जिस एरिया की हमने पहले बात की थी, it was separated from the districts of Bhagalpur and Birbhum. A separate district came into existence under the name of the Santhal Pargana. 1856 में the police rules recognized the tribal village headman system. Accordingly, the police duties were entrusted to the tribal chief, and with this, direct communication between the government and tribals was made possible. No intermediary was allowed to intervene between the Santhals and the government. Verbal complaints that were made by the Santhals were treated as valid. So you can see that the British were sort of trying to appease the Santhals also. तो यही नहीं था, लाठी की ही बिना पे वो हर चीज नहीं कर रहे थे या गवर्नेंस नहीं चला रहे थे. They were trying to amicably convince people as well at some level that no, we're here for your good and we listen to what you have to say. At least that is what the appearance was. The judgment on criminal acts was to be transacted with the help of Santhals themselves, who were also entrusted to bring in the accused along with the witnesses to the court. So the British were giving them this particular. Now, in the period 1872 to 78, land ownership rights were settled throughout the district of Santhal Pargana, which gave to the Santhals security of land combined with the rent to be paid. बट यहाँ पे भी अभी एक बेसिक प्रॉब्लम कंटिन्यूड रही, जो थी डिपेंडेंस ऑन मनी लेंडर्स, जिसके चलते द कम्युनिटी सिस्टम, बॉन्डेड लेबर सिस्टम, कंटिन्यूड डिस्पाइट हैविंग बीन बैंड बाय द एक्ट ऑफ 1855. And this was primarily because agriculture continued to be subsistence based. तो कैश जो रिक्वायर्ड होता था रेवेन्यू और फाइन्स और ये सब पे करने के लिए, उसके लिए मनी लेंडर्स की ज़रूरत पड़ जाती थी. The Santhals, they realized that their previous socio-economic system could not be re-established by mere agitation or violence, and so they turned towards religion and called their golden age as Kherwar. And this religious movement, it had been led by Bhagirath Maji in 1833. इस मूवमेंट में भागीरथ माजी ने बेसिकली ये तब बात की थी कि जो संथल्स का वे ऑफ लाइफ था, उनका ये मानना था कि वो लोग एक डेटी को भूलकर, एक ठाकुर को भूलकर, जिसकी हमने पहले भी बात की थी, उनको भूलकर ये लोग पेटी स्पिरिट्स एटसेट्रा में ज़्यादा ध्यान लगा रहे थे. देयर स्पिरिचुअलिटी हैड बीन कर्ब्ड टू अ ग्रेट एक्सटेंट एंड दे वांटेड टू change that. So that is why this movement was there. Now for the Munda revolt, the Mundas, they belonged to the Proto-Australoid race and they lived in southeastern parts of the Chota Nagpur plateau. The Munda chief was called Munda Parha, and इसमें हुआ ये था बेसिकली कि देखिए, कॉलोनियल कॉन्टैक्ट में आने से पहले मुंडास का बहुत ही प्रॉब्लम फ्री एग्जिस्टेंस चला आ रहा था. एंड इवन इफ दे यूज्ड टू कम इनटू कॉन्टैक्ट विद नियर बाय एग्रेरियन कम्युनिटीज, प्रॉब्लम्स डिड नॉट अराइज बिकॉज बोथ वर रूटेड इन द ट्रेडिशनल ऑर्डर. सो नो वन यूज्ड टू रियली ट्राई टू अपरूट और डिस्टर्ब द प्रेवलेंट सोशल ऑर्डर एज इट वर. Now, great disturbance started growing from 1845 when Christian missionaries appeared on the scene and started the conversion agenda slowly but successfully. Elder members जो थे मुंडाज में से, they were specially in distress, and the dilemma was that conversion was influencing others because of actual social welfare. कई जगह देखा जा रहा था कि conversion के चलते लोगों के way of life में improvements आ रहे थे. And it is true to some extent that जो Christian missions आए थे, irrespective of the country from where they came, they helped the tribal population to some extent in better education, health, and general economic welfare. A few educated tribal Christians, they formed the Christian Tribal Organization, which later flourished into the Chota Nagpur Unnati Samaj. तो इस तरह की चीज़ें हो रही थी. And these new Christian leaders, they started approaching the administration for the return of Khootkati lands from the possession of the Dikus. अब ये Khootkati lands क्या थे? They were common property of land. मुंडास के बीच में इसे कहा जाता था. तो ये बोला गया कि भाई outsiders से हटा के अब आप और लोगों को दे दो. And it was precisely at this time when the Christian missionaries had firmly established themselves in this area that religious discontent and unrest gathered momentum. इस juncture पे बिरसा मुंडा, he raised his voice not only against the British rulers but also against oppression and exploitation by landlords. अब जब बिरसा मुंडा की बात हुई है तो आइए उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा जानते. Birsa Munda, he was born in 1875 in a small village, Karevia Ulihatu in Khuti, around 40 kilometers from Ranchi. Very early he came into contact with Christian missionaries and learnt reading and writing, and he was also influenced by a Brahmin who was Anand Pandey, whom he regarded as his guru. And despite resistance from his family, Birsa Munda continued his education. He was also inspired by Vaishnavism, so much so that he became a complete vegetarian. In 1886, he came into contact with the German Lutheran mission, and from here his primary and higher education started. अब हुआ क्या कि during this phase of education, he became slightly disturbed because he was a vegetarian and the diet in the kitchen of the mission was non-vegetarian. He decided to give up Christianity and start a movement for the Mundas. अब यहाँ पे लीडरशिप की अगर हम बात करें तो ये ध्यान दीजिएगा कि इनकी जो लीडरशिप थी वो कैरिज्मेटिक लीडरशिप थी. ठीक है, फॉर दोज ऑफ यू स्पेशली हु मे हैव टेकन सोशियोलॉजी एज योर ऑप्शनल, करिज्मा तो आप लोग समझते ही हैं, तो ये कैरिज्मेटिक लीडरशिप कहलाती है, जहाँ पे कि एक व्यक्ति becomes important. The individual is the leader, and it is his personality that in fact shapes the leadership, which is slightly different from say when there is an individual who is leading things, but then एक particular मान लीजिए political party है जो ज़्यादा उसके ideology और views को influence करती है, so it's not just about the individual, लेकिन charismatic leadership है इस बारे में. And this leadership is very different, for example, from the leadership of Sido and Kanhu. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर आपको याद हो, I had told you to take note of this fact कि Sido और Kanhu, they claim to be in communication with the Devta or Thakur ji, and Birsa Munda claimed to have divine and charismatic qualities in his own personality. तो दोनों ही अपने अपने तरफ से ये बताते थे कि हम रिवोल्ट क्यों कर रहे हैं, किसके बिहेस्ट पे कर रहे हैं और क्यों, और लोगों को इससे जुड़ना चाहिए. लेकिन दोनों के जो मार्ग थे या दोनों के जो पाथ वो कार्य कर रहे थे वो थोड़े थोड़े अलग थे. He told the Mundas to worship Singhbunga, who was the one and only tribal deity, and he was a monotheist therefore. He prohibited animal sacrifice, and he prohibited a lot many things, and he tried to inform people to basically do things for the welfare of the Mundas and try to influence policies as such. But to counter his popularity, there was a force that was sent to arrest him. He was arrested and released in 1897 on the eve of the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria's rule, और उसी साल उन्होंने ओपन रिवोल्ट डिक्लेयर की थी. So this was it about tribal revolts, and as we proceed now, we will be looking at things from 1857 onwards, and it should be interesting from here on. Thank you.